Hi, this is Andy from GPS Training. In this video, we're going to show you how you can get GPX files for events that you may be taking part in onto a Garmin handheld GPS device and a compatible Garmin watch. In the examples I'm going to use today, we're going to show you two ways of doing it. The first one I'm going to show you is using Garmin's BaseCamp software, which is a piece of free software that you download to your Windows or Mac computer. And then with that software and your handheld GPS device connected using a USB cable, you can then send the downloaded GPX file, which is the format we use when you get an electronic route for a Garmin device, onto the actual device itself to navigate with. Every organizer can be different for events. Some organizers will actually email you the GPX route file through, or it could be a track recording. The example I'm using today, I'm actually taking part in an event this weekend called the Montane Spine Challenger. The organizers for this event, when you take part, give you access to a members area where you can then get a link to the GPX files, which is where I'm logged in at the moment. So I'm just going to show you the Garmin BaseCamp software first. It's something you can download for free from Garmin's website. Top of the screen, I've got www.garmin.com, and then you can see it's /en-gb/software/BaseCamp. To be honest, I just searched on my computer for Garmin BaseCamp download and I got straight to this screen. And then if I scroll down to the bottom, you've got the option to download it for Windows or Mac. Our online training course has loads of videos on using the software, how you create folders in the software, and actually lots of detailed videos on importing GPX files into the software. But I just thought it'd be nice to use this as an example as a live event that I'm doing to show you an example of getting a GPX file from an event organizer. The second part of the video, we're going to show you how you use an app called Garmin Connect, which you can actually access on a computer, which I'll show you first, and then also on a mobile device. And on that example, I'll show you how I send it to a compatible Garmin Fenix watch. But I'm using a handheld device today, which is the GPS Map 66i unit. So I've already got Garmin BaseCamp downloaded on my computer. So just show you the BaseCamp software. Just a quick overview of it. Basically, there's a bit called the library in my collection. I'm going to create a folder in that library ready for my files that I'm going to import into it. So I'm going to call this the Montane Spine, which is the event I'm taking part in. Just hit my enter button. Again, loads of videos on our online course that go into a lot more detail on how you do this. So I've now got a folder called Montane Spine. Underneath the Montane Spine heading in the software here in the bottom left of the screen, I can see there's nothing in there. It says this list is empty. So what I'm now going to do is go back to the organizer's website, and I'm going to scroll down the page, and I'm looking for the one that I'm taking part in is the Spine Challenger. So it's actually got complete download, complete route, and I'm just going to left click on there, and that GPX file has now went to my downloads. I'm using a Windows computer today. On a Mac it would also go to your downloads as well. Now the route I'm doing is 109 miles. Chances are, I don't know for definite till I check in BaseCamp software, but the beauty of BaseCamp software, I can see if it's been done as a route or a track, and I can see how many points it's made up with, just to make sure it's going to work okay with my GPS device. With the Garmin handheld devices, when you're looking at things like the GPS Map 66 that I'm using today and the 86 series, or the Garmin Montana 700/750 series, if it's a track, it can have up to 20,000 points in it. If it was a route, it could have 250 points in it. Now, I know it says complete route here on the downloads, but you'll often find organizers that supply you with GPX files, whether they email them to you or give you a link to a website. They're often track recordings of where someone's recce'd the route. Tracks can be made up of a lot more points, so they tend to work much better when they're long distance trails. We do show you on our online training course how you can edit down ones that are too big. So I'm also going to, just as an example, even though I'm not doing the full race, on the full race here, which is this next one down, they have got the complete route again to download. So I'm going to download that one just to show you how big it is. And also it's split. What's nice with the longer one, they've obviously realized that some GPS devices, it might be too big, so they've split it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections. So I'm actually just going to download by left clicking on a couple of these. Actually, I'll do 3 of them just to give you an example how this organizer's split them down. So they've all went to me downloads, which is why that box is opened on the top right of my screen. So I'm going to go back to BaseCamp software now. I've got my Montane Spine folder that I've created, and I'm simply going to use in BaseCamp software this option called File at the top and Import Into. And it's remembered where I last went to. If it hadn't went to my downloads, I would have searched on my computer for my downloads, and I can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5 GPX files that I've just downloaded today. So I'm just going to use my shift button to highlight all 5 of those together and left click on open, and they'll now all import into the Montane Spine folder. So I can now see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 GPX files here. Now I can see they've all got the little footprint symbol, which is great. That means they're all a track rather than a route. If there had been a route on a Windows computer, I would have saw an icon that looked like 3 green boxes joined together. On a Mac, you would have seen an icon that looked like a white arrow pointing to the right, but I can see it's a footprint symbol. So on a Mac and Windows, that would tell you that it's a track. Now, just to give you an example of how we double check on the size of it. So the one that I'm doing is actually the Summer Spine Challenger race. It's the one at the very top here. So if I double left click with my mouse on the footprint symbol, a properties box opens, and it tells me in the summary that it's made up of 6,972 points, 109 miles. So that one will work fine in all the current handheld Garmin devices because it's under the 10,000 points. So just remember the 6686 series, and that's the GPS map, in the Montana 700, 750. A track can have 20,000 points. When we look at things like the GPS map 64, 65, the Oregon 700s, Oregon 600s, eTrex 20 and 30s, 22 and 32Xs, eTrex touches, they all can't have more than 10,000 points per track. So it will be fine for all those units. It's always worth checking with the spec of your own unit to work, to look at the maximum number of track points it'll work to. Where you've got to be careful with the routes, if it had been a route, it's a maximum number of 250 points per route for the Montana 700, 750 and the map 66, 86 series, and 200 maximum route points for the other units I've mentioned. So it's always better if it's a track. The nice thing, if it had been a route, I could have simply right clicked on the name, and you do get an option in BaseCamp software to convert to a track. Those are the sorts of things we cover in more detail on our online training course. So I'm just going to close that down now and just give you an example of the full one here. So if I had been doing the full spine race, which is the full length of the Pennine Way, this one you can see is a lot longer. It's 262 miles and it's made up of 13,938 points. So if I'd had one of the units that only works with 10,000 track points, I would have either had to split this down by watching our videos on how you split them down, or because the organizer of this event's been really good and they've already done that for you, give you an example of the one here, start to checkpoint 1. It's only got 3,207 points, 46 miles. And if I click on the second option, just to give you an idea, that one there's only got 1,591 points. So again, absolutely fine. So how do I send these to my GPS device? All I need to do is make sure it's connected. I've already got my device connected with the USB cable it came with. I can see if I scroll down the screen here, I can see under devices, there's my internal storage. It's already connected. And I've already selected from the maps menu at the top my North of England and Isle of Man 1 to 25 map. I should have shown you, I'm just actually going to double left click back on one of these tracks now and just highlight it. It's actually got, I've changed the colour to red in the properties box, but you can see the complete route. On this case, it's going to be the track I'm going to be following on the map screen. So if you're happy with it and you want to send it to your unit, all I'm going to do is right click on that footprint symbol in the bottom left hand window there, select send to, and scroll down and pick internal storage. Always recommend sending to your internal storage underneath your GPS device name, and if I select OK there, that one will transfer to my unit. There's a little green tick just appeared next to internal storage. If I wanted to send one of the other ones, I can, if I highlight the whole folder at the top, Montane Spine, I've got the other ones here. So if it was the full one I was doing and I wanted to send checkpoint 1 to MT, which stands for Malham Tarn, I can right click on the name there, just select send to with the cursor on my mouse and do exactly the same. Scroll down to internal storage and select OK. If I want to make sure they're on my unit, I can scroll down to the internal storage folder, and I'm just going to scroll down and you'll see footprint symbols for tracks. I've got a lot of stuff on this unit, but if I scroll down the tracks, you should see we should have the spine on here, Summer Spine Challenger there. You can actually do a search on the top right. There's a search screen. So with my internal storage highlighted, if I click search top right of the screen and just type in spine and hit return, because that's the name of them, it's actually showing you user data in internal storage, Summer Spine. It's just checking for other things with the name spine in it on the internet. But the important thing is underneath user data internal storage, I can see spine there and spine there, the two that I've sent to my unit, so I can see they've been sent to the unit absolutely fine. So that was just to show you how using Garmin's BaseCamp software you can get GPX files from an organized event onto your handheld device. Just before we do the second part of the video where we use Garmin Connect, I'm just going to show you, if I go to our GPS training website, on our gpstraining.co.uk website, underneath online resource, when you click on online resource, if you've bought a unit from us, you get access to this 12 months for free. You can actually, under the GPS store and GPS support packages, purchase our online course from us, as well as various support options. But if you bought a unit from us, you get this free for 12 months, or you come on a training course with us, 2-day course. And once I'm logged in on our online training course here, I can go to courses, and we've got a section called GPX library, and under GPX library we have videos. Here we go, transfer GPX using BaseCamp for PC and Mac, where we go into a lot more detail how you can split files down if they are too big. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on just getting a GPX file from an event's website onto my handheld device. In the next part, we're going to use something called Garmin Connect, which we can then use to send the same GPX files to a compatible watch. I'm going to use a Phoenix watch, and if you have got something like a GPS map 6686 or Montana 700, you can actually use the same app to send the files to those devices as well. And thanks for watching. Hi, this is Andy from GPS Training. I'm just continuing on from our last video where we showed you how you can use Garmin BaseCamp to import GPX files for an event that you may be doing. I used the example of the Montane Spine Challenger that I'm doing this weekend. How you can use Garmin BaseCamp to get that GPX file, which is the electronic route or track recording, onto your handheld device. I'm now going to show you how you can do a similar thing using a program called Garmin Connect, which you can still actually use on a computer, but also in the last video we'll show you using that on a mobile device as well. So what I showed you in the last part of the video is where I was logged into the events website, where they've got the GPX files for the event that I'm doing, the Montane Spine Challenger, to download, and I actually just clicked on the various ones, the complete route. And if I was doing the full route, I left clicked on, just give you an example again as per the last video, so if it was checkpoint 2 to checkpoint 3 I wanted, I left clicked on it, and the GPX file went to the downloads on my Windows computer. Would be the same on a Mac. So Garmin Connect is a app that you can put on a mobile device, and you sign in using your Garmin account, and you can pair that with a compatible watch such as a Garmin Phoenix watch, or if you have got something like a GPS map 66 or 86 device, or the Montana 700 750 devices with the latest software, you can actually use Garmin Connect to send GPX files to those devices as well. So what I've actually done is Garmin Connect is something on a computer a lot of people don't realize you can actually log into as well. So I just searched for Garmin Connect login, and it took me to this screen, the connect.garmin.com website, and I just had to put my email address and password in that I'd created with my Garmin account. Now, one little tip I will give you if you are using the Connect on a computer is there's this bit called dashboards that you see straight away at the top of the screen, top left of the screen. When I click on dashboards, you don't normally have one set for what I would say easily looking at GPX files that you import. There's a custom dashboard you can create called courses, which is the terminology that Garmin Connect use for the imported GPX files. So what I actually did before I started using Garmin Connect on the computer was clicked on this option at the top left under dashboards that says add dashboard. I called it courses. I've already got one called courses, so I'll just call this one courses 2 just to give you an example. And then the little tick, and then with courses 2 selected, you'll see on the screen here I've just got this blank screen, and I simply hit the little plus box, scroll down to the option courses, and that's it. And it just makes it a lot easier, I find. So I know I've got 2 now. If I just want to delete either one of these, so I can highlight the one called courses 2 and just delete it now, because I did already have one created called courses. And then any GPX files that I've imported into Garmin Connect, whether it's on the app on my mobile device or on the computer, they're all synced here. So the nice thing is, if you do something on the mobile app called Garmin Connect that you can download to an Apple device or an Android smartphone, you will see the sync go across the computer version as well. So the first thing I need to do on here, it's a little bit of a trick, but when you've got this courses dashboard that you've created, what I'm going to do is click on the little plus symbol where it says courses at the top, and it's just got a list of all the courses I've already got. It's got a little plus symbol, not the plus here, not the big plus with a dotted square around it. That would be for adding a new section to this dashboard, but just the little plus on the left hand side where you've got the white box with any existing courses in. If I left click on there, and it assumes that I want to create a new course, but then if I simply left click on cancel, I then get the option at the bottom in blue underneath where it says create course, it says import. So if I left click on import, and it says where's the file that you want to import, so I'm just going to say browse, and I'm just going to use one of these ones from the downloads that I did. So I'll use this Challenger one, which is actually the race that I'm doing. So I'm just going to my downloads to find the GPX file that I want to import, and I'm just going to select open and then say get started. Just let this load up. Now when it loads up, it wants to know what type of course it is. You haven't got the choice of hiking. Sorry, I tell a lie, you have got the choice of hiking now. You didn't used to have hiking. I know on the mobile version for some reason you don't have hiking, and I normally select other. So I could select hiking. On this case it's a trail run I'm doing, so I'm going to select trail run and continue. And now, very like my video on the Windows, it's now showing a map with the 109 miles, sorry. It's got the elevation graph, but where it says untitled, it hasn't actually got a name. So I'm just going to left click on the little pencil symbol where it says edit, and I'm just going to call this Montane Spine Challenger, and I'll put 2022 as it's the new one that I'm doing, and say save new course there. And that's now on the computer version of the app, but it's also will be on the smart version as well. So when I go to my smartphone now, which I'm going to show in the next video, and open up the Garmin Connect app, I can then use Bluetooth to sync it to my Fenix 7X watch, which is the watch I'm using on the event and the one I'm going to use as an example. So I do like the fact I can use BaseCamp software, which we showed you in the first part of the videos, for getting it onto the handheld and just checking the size. Do I need to trim it down at all? But once you know that the GPX files are okay, the ones you're going to use, you can use this Garmin Connect while you're on the computer to import it. I will show you when I'm on the mobile app how, if you didn't have a computer, you could just use the mobile app to then get the GPX file onto your watch. So I hope you found this video useful, and please watch the second part where we use the actual phone itself for syncing with the device, and thanks for watching. Hi, this is Andy again from GPS Training. We're just continuing on from our last video, and on this one we're going to show you how you can use the Garmin Connect app on a mobile device. I'm using an Android device today, but it will work on an Apple device as well. Download it from the App Store to also send a GPX file to a compatible Garmin device. I'm going to use the Fenix 7X as an example today. So on our earlier video, you seen us download, or you saw me download a GPX file from the Montane Spine event that I'm taking part in. And what we actually did is we actually put it into the app as well on a computer, the Garmin Connect app. So that will have actually synced now with my mobile device. So if I now open up the Garmin Connect app on my mobile device, I'm just going to show you a little tip that you don't normally see when you first use the app. Just going to come back to the main screen. So when you first go onto the app and you're on this main screen, along the bottom of the screen you don't normally see the option courses, which is the terminology we use
when we put a GPX file, a route or a track into the Garmin Connect app. So what I did first on my app is touched on the 3 blue bars top left of the screen to go into the main menu. Scroll down to the bottom where we get edit tabs, and I'll just put this back to the default one just to show you what it is like as normal. So normally you have challenges, calendar and news feed. You can only have 3 of these sort of tabs underneath the My Day tab. So what I actually did to get the courses tab was hit the little minus next to the news feed, so that disappeared. And then I scrolled down till I saw the one called courses, touched on that one, the little plus symbol, and then save the top right of the screen. So I now have courses along the bottom. So what I'll show you first, if I touch on courses now, when I used the computer in the earlier part of the video to import the GPX file into the Garmin Connect on a computer, I imported the Montane Spine Challenger, and that's the one I can now see at the top. So I've touched on it and it's brought up the map view, and if I swipe up from the bottom of the screen I can see more information, the distance, the elevation graph, and it's actually got the name there, course name Montane Spine Challenger 2022. And I can move around on the map and I can pinch and zoom with my fingers and zoom in and have a look at some where the route is actually going, or the course as we call it on the app. If I now want to send that to my paired device, so you need to make sure you've got your device paired with the app, which we show you on all the videos on our online training resource. We cover videos on pairing the compatible handheld devices as well as the Phoenix watches with the app. So I've actually touched on the 3 white dots at the top of the screen and I've got the option send to device. It's showing me my Phoenix 7X is connected. It's also showing you my Map 86i, so I could send it to that device as well, which is compatible with courses. But if I touch Phoenix 7X, and it's giving me the word time to get running. What I always do just to make sure it's syncing okay, top left of the screen, if I touch on the little white arrow, just to come back off this screen, and then I just need to swipe either left to right or touch on My Day at the bottom of the screen, and it takes me back to the main menu. And you can see at the top I've got a little green dot next to the watch icon, and there's a little white circle just completing itself around the watch, and you can see 2 white arrows spinning. That's it syncing with the watch. So I'd always make sure it's synced fully, and always make sure you check your watch or device that the course is definitely on it before you go away, just in case you need to resync. What we can do as well, just to show you, if I hadn't put this on using the computer and I just went onto the events website, or you'd been emailed the GPX file. So this is the events website. It's the same events website, the Montane Spine, that I was on the computer on the earlier part of the video. Just to give you an example, if I went on to say it was the one checkpoint 5 to finish at the bottom here and touch on that one, and it's saying, do you want to download? So yep, download. It's saying it's going to download to the downloads on my phone. It's showing at the top that it's now downloaded. So if I touch on that at the top where it's downloaded, and I'm just going to need to go onto my files, sorry. So every phone can be different. I'm just going to go into my files now. And on my files, I can see downloads, and it's the summer spine there at the top. So if I touch on that, it says, what do you want to open it with? So I'm going to select the Connect app, just select on Connect. And then it says, what type of course is it? I don't get the choice of hiking, so if it was hiking, I could just select other. I'm going to select trail running. And then it shows you the same sort of view as we had for the full one. This one's a 40.86 mile one. I can swipe up, look at more information. But where it says course name, it's just got today's date. It's a bit like it did on the computer version. So I'm just going to touch on there and rename it. So I want it to be Montane Spine. And it was the checkpoint 5 to the finish. So I'm just going to put CP5 and then just to the finish. I'll just put FIN to finish and then done. And then if I say done at the top, so touch on the wording done at the top, that's now saved the name. And then again, I can just touch on the 3 white dots at the top and say send to device, pick which connected device I want to send it to. And again, I'll do exactly the same as before. I can swipe left to right to come off this screen. Go to the My Day at the bottom and just make sure it's syncing at the top with the white arrows spinning. So it's just showing you a couple of ways to get it onto your compatible watch or device using the Connect app. So I hope you found these series of videos useful. And remember, the online training course that we have does have loads more videos that go into lots of detail on doing similar things with GPX files, getting them onto the Garmin Connect app or BaseCamp software to load onto your compatible device. And thanks for watching.